Well, happy Monday, August 12th. Want to bring you the latest data here in the Austin metro area. We're going to start again with interest rates. So we kind of finished the week last week around 6.5%, obviously way down from what we saw in the spring and for most of the summer. It came even below this number as we started the week. That's kind of when the big stock market crash was taking place, but it recovered a bit and has moved back into the 6.5% range. I'll bring you down here to the chart. This goes back to April. So that was when we peaked out on rates for 2024, at least so far. We were about 7.5%. And then we had a steady decline down to 7. It kind of bounced in the sevens until we got to July, right about a month ago. That's when we finally started seeing it dip and stay below 6%. Here's last week up through Monday, went all the way down to 6.34%. And we're seeing it kind of stabilize in the mid sixes. As of right now, it's not expected that the Federal Reserve is going to make any moves in August. So we'll be waiting for September when they might announce a rate cut. What we are going to be watching is economic data. We want to be seeing if inflation continues to cool or if there's any other economic factors that put stress on yields to bring them down further. So, how is the lowering interest rates now that we're seeing them come down, impacting buyers and those that are owning properties to refinance? So here's some data. This is from the same website, Mortgage News Daily. This is tracking mortgage applications. So the orange line here is the rate, and the application volume is at the top. That's the dark line. So you can see as rates went up, application volume came down. As rates came down, it kind of helped application volume go up a little bit, but not as much as you would think. These are the numbers we're looking at. So week over week, even though we saw rates come way down, purchase applications really only went up less than 1%. And this is nationally, not local. But, not a huge change, really no change for buyers. Refinancing was down just a hair. But year over year, this is what's impacting the market. Almost 13% fewer people are applying for mortgages compared to this time, compared to last year to this year. So less buyer activity, but almost 28% more refinancing. Why? Because you have 2 years of people who have been paying higher interest rates on those homes, and any chance they can get now to refinance that money back down, they are going to do so. So the lowering rates so far is more impacting those who own property and want to refinance than it is spurring buyers to get into the market. So we're going to have to wait and see if lowering rates is going to make a difference in terms of buyer activity in the coming months. This is going to look at through July. This is the latest data from Austin Title. We are the red line. This is closed sales for 2024. And you can see that once we got to May, which was really April buyers, it slowed down. And so we kind of peaked early this year. Sales have slowed down. We're below any of the past 5 years in terms of home sales. If I come down to, this is the week of July 28th through August 3rd, listings were down. Sold listings were down. Months of inventory finally starting to kind of peak off. I'll show that to you in another chart here in a second. And our overall median sales price for the metro is about $435. So again, still sitting in the mid fours. Last week, about 14% of active listings did a price reduction. So this is a comparison right here. This chart is January 1st through July 31st of last year and that same time period for this year. So in total sales, we're down about 2%. So we're not that far off in terms of the number of units sold compared to last year over that time. Average sales price is down about 1.3%, and the median sales price is down about 2.68%. And it's taking about a week longer on average than last year to sell a property. All right, let's go to real-time data. This is number of active versus sold listings. So the green is active single-family homes on the market, and the blue is single-family sales by month. So we've now finished July. There's probably a little more data that might end up in there, but not much. We finished around 2,800 home sales in July, but we had about 13,500 on the market. So again, we're talking maybe 20 to 25% of the homes we're able to get an offer that are on the market currently. And that puts us around 4 to 5 months of inventory, depending on where you're looking. But you can see our inventory kind of rose really sharp in the spring. The rates went up. It slowed down buyer activity, which is the blue. It didn't follow the same curve. It kind of flattened a little more. So we had those go up, but we peaked out in June. We're now in August, heading towards the fall. I expect we're going to see this green line continue to just trickle back down as either some properties start to sell, there's fewer listings coming to market, and you'll have a segment of home sellers that don't sell and take their property off the market. That's all going to happen at the same time as we enter into the fall. And finally, I want to show you the historic sales price trend. This is looking at 3 years. So this is going all the way back to 2021. This is price. So you can see the price shot up in 2021. That was really the craziest year for sales, but it continued as we got late into 2021 and into the spring of 2022 because we simply didn't have any inventory. We still had super low rates and tons of buyer demand. So look at that price. Just from January 2021, 398,000 was the median home price, to a year and a half later, we were 550. So insane appreciation in that window, but of course we've given most of it back. But you can see what's happening. I call it the pebble when you drop it in the water. You know, that first time you make a big splash, you had this big downfall. But then the next year, which was 2023, it still was aggressively slow, but you had less of an up and down. It went up in the spring, came down in the fall and winter. And then now we have this year, it went up in the spring again, and now it's going to trickle back down in terms of median home value in the fall and winter. That's typical every single year. But the peaks are softening. They're less and less aggressive. So I think we're starting to find some stability in Austin. We'll call it the mid fours for median home values. It's been bouncing between 430 and 480 for a couple years now. We'll see how that plays out. But I would say this is telling us that's a good 2 years of data with high interest rates, with anemic buyer demand, and we're still somewhat holding together. I do expect the fall, we're going to have a softer market. It's typically what happens in the fall. But the only thing that can impact that in a positive way is the fact that if rates do make a meaningful, noticeable drop down, and it's enough to get buyers excited about it, then I think we might see a little more buyer activity than expected in the fall. If you're a seller right now, not much has changed. We still have a lot of inventory in the market. We obviously don't have a lot of buyer activity. There's not a lot of new purchase applications, at least not yet. So it really comes down to a beauty contest between you and the other competition that you have in the market. Our job is to find all the ways that we can eliminate friction that's discouraging buyers from making offers. We want to get them excited about the property and make them feel like it's the best thing they can buy in the market. If you're a buyer right now, I've been saying it for weeks. I still think this is maybe going to be one of the best times you're going to have to go out, find a property. There's lots to choose from. Rates are starting to get better, and yet you still don't have a lot of competition. And so that's when it changes like that typically. And so I would say, over the next several months might be a really good window to get into Austin before it turns a corner. Anyways, I hope all this information was valuable. Make sure to watch these videos each and every week. You can check us out on our YouTube channel at Ryan Kelly Group. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you know someone looking to buy, sell, or invest in Austin, we'd love the opportunity to chat with them. Anyways, hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Monday. Thanks.